I kind of had to have it in this one. By, oh, she's put Shannon Chakraborty. I think he's like a human rat kind of thing. Not like an apple crumble at all. It's not bad. I have no idea if I like it or not. It's too early for this. Hello and welcome back to another reading vlog. Today it's an exciting start to one because it's going to be the Gilmore Girls Readathon reading vlog. It's taking part this week, hosted by Liv over Liv's Library, Heather from Book Apple and Mackenzie from Mackenzie Lane. I think they're throughout the week they're hosting like reading sprints. There's a group read as well, which I don't think I'm going to get to because I'd rather read the ones that I've picked, which I know probably defeats the purpose of a group read, but there is one going on. There's a group on Discord about like with different sections that people are talking about it on. So I think it's going to be a really fun week. I am starting it a day early. It is Sunday today, not Monday, but tomorrow I'm working like a double shift. So tomorrow doesn't exist as a day really in my week. So I'm like bringing it forward and today is my Monday and I started it today. For the book, there were 7 prompts, I believe. I'll see if I can remember them off the top of my head, but I'll show you the books that I've got. The first one is the Book of Hidden Things. This is for the prompt of a book set in a small town. Obviously Gilmore Girls is set in a small village and it's just a very wholesome show. I'm rewatching it at the moment. I think I'm on season 2 perhaps. I'd forgotten how frustrating Lorelai and Luke are. Like they just need to sort them. They just need to get together. I'd forgotten how like annoying they were. That sun is really in my eye, sorry. So the Book of Hidden Things is about, I think, a group that always come back to this one little village in Italy every year. However, one year their kind of main ringleader of the group doesn't show up and he goes missing, so they have to kind of find out where he's gone. But it also has kind of, I think, pretty soft fantasy elements to it about this book that they find, and magical things are woven into the storyline, which is not my normal kind of fantasy, and I don't tend to enjoy that kind of fantasy. I'm kind of more of a, you have to invent an entire whole world, otherwise I'm not going to believe you kind of person when it comes to fantasy. But I'm excited to give this a go. So this one's for that prompt. Then we have the Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri. So this fills quite a few prompts. It fills the prompt of a book with an Asian character or written by an Asian author. It also fills the prompt for family drama because I think there's things going on with her brother. I don't actually know 100%. This blurb doesn't say that there are, but I'm pretty sure the blurb on Goodreads mentioned something to do with the brother. And it also has a love interest in it, so I'm hoping that it's complicated enough to classify as a complicated romance for that prompt as well. This one I think I'm going to be leaving till last just because it is the chunkiest book, so it's the one that I'll most likely be able to like kind of carry over from the readathon if I don't get it finished. And I'd rather get more books finished hopefully within this 1 week, so there's more content for you rather than just actually reading just one book. The next one I have is one for a book set in fall or winter, and that is The River of Silver. This is a short story collection from the Daverbad trilogy, so City of Brass is the first book in that series by, oh, she's put Shannon Chakraborty. Normally it's S.A. Chakraborty, so I wonder why she's changed that. That's quite cool. Is that the same on her new book coming out? Oh yeah. So this is a proof of her next book, and she's also put Shannon Chakraborty on there. So maybe she's changed to going with her first name. How cool. Total detour there. But this is a short story collection from that one. It's not very long. It's 241 pages. So there's 15 short stories in here. So maybe if I read like 2 a day, something like that, and then that means that I will be making consistent pace throughout this one. But basically on the back, a pair of scouts in a cursed winter wood stumble upon a secret that will turn over their world. So obviously that's for the winter prompt in that one. And the last book that the last book for the prompts that I'm talking about, but actually the first book that I'm reading is Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry. This is like kind of just a fun, cozy, it says high fantasy, low stakes, good company. So this is about an orc who is kind of like a mercenary. She's going around like murdering most of her life. However, she wants to change the pace, you know, that's not a very fun life to live. You know, you're always getting hurt or wondering if you're going to die in the next thing that you do. So she's kind of retired and fell in love with this coffee, an unknown substance in most of the universe or world of this place, from these, I think, gnomes basically where they live. They have coffee. She was visiting there once on her like one of her work things and fell in love with it, so she's moved to this new place and is opening up a coffee shop, and it's just kind of her trying to haggle and get people in to drink her coffee. There's also some kind of like gangsters that seem to be threatening her at the moment, and it seems just a bit of a fun kind of light-hearted read, and it's perfect for this readathon because it's to do with coffee, and Gilmore Girls are obsessed with coffee. I kind of had to have it in this one. It's also not very long, it's like 300 pages long, so I'm reading this with Debs as well, and we're both trying to finish it within the day. So I'm already 100 pages in. I'm hoping it's 1 o'clock now. I should be able to finish it within the day. I do have work later, so not sure if I will, but it's the plan. It is just fun, easy to read. The text is quite big. This is a proof copy. This isn't a final copy. You can buy them now, but the final copies are really cool because it was originally self-published. The end pages are the original artwork from the front cover. So that's our main character Viv and her assistant who run the coffee shop and are opening the coffee shop. So yeah, this is just a fun read that will hopefully just, you know, be kind of cozy to read on the readathon. And then the kind of like last prompt is to cook a warm autumn treat. And so I've got a pumpkin that I picked last week or the week before. I hope it's still okay. And I'm gonna make a pumpkin crumble, hopefully at some point throughout the week. And then at the end of the week, I'm going to Scotland as well to see my grandparents. So that will also be in this video, hopefully, fingers crossed. So yeah, it's quite a packed week, to be fair, for the readathon. I hope it goes well and that I read most of these books and you're not disappointed. Stay tuned, I will be continuing reading this one now and I'll let you know how it goes. So it's been a couple days, it's Wednesday now, and I thought I'd do a little update because I have finished the first book, and that is Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. So as I said, this is just a super, I mean, it's everything that it says on the tin. It is a high fantasy, low stakes, good company kind of thing, but it kind of reminds me of like Wind in the Willows. So it's got that kind of like town vibe to it, where it's like a bunch of kind of like funny creatures coming together just to do like everyday kind of things. It's kind of cozy and warm and it's just kind of nice. So like you have obviously our main character Viv, who is the orc, and she's discovered this stone that apparently is meant to give you kind of good luck. So she takes the stone, she retires, she comes to this little village, no, it's a city, and she finds a derelict kind of rundown old stable, decides to buy it, and then it would be a perfect place for reasons in the story. Perfect place to open her coffee shop. And the coffee is from some kind of gnome city, like it's invented by the gnomes. It might be another creature, but I'm pretty sure it's gnomes. So she imports all the stuff for it, she builds it, she hires some help. So we've got Cal who comes and builds everything. He's kind of grumpy and he kind of just like huffs about, but he's like really kind of nice person. And then she hires Tandri, who is a scarab, some kind of creature that has horns, but that is really sensitive to like people's emotions, and she can, I think, kind of like emulate or give off some kind of emotional manipulation. There's this thing going on with her, and there's a romancy kind of thing. Not very much in it, but I have to say I would like a little bit more, to be honest. It's just kind of like softly touched on. Everything's done with a very kind of soft, nice touch to it. There's a little bit of like tension to it, but nothing too dramatic. And it's just really them coming together. It's like a kind of found family kind of thing, coming together to build this shop. Oh, we've also got Thimble, who is this kind of, I think he's like a human rat kind of thing. He has whiskers and he twitches and he has fur and long, does he have long ears? Someone has long ears, but I think that might be Cal. I think Cal has long ears. I don't really know. I feel like I want to know what these creatures are and Google them, but I kind of forgotten what they all are. So there's like just everyone's like a different like weird fantasy creatures, and they just build this coffee shop, and it's really cute. It's really warm. I read that across 2 days, so I didn't quite get my like 1 day read done, but I read it in 2 days, and then I started River of Silver by Shannon Chakraborty. I always want to say S.A., but I think she's changed it now. I'm actually surprised by how much I've remembered from this series. It spans the whole expanse, like from way before the series started to, I assume, the ending of the series as well. So the first story that we've got is by Manizer, and she's obviously one of the Naheeds from way before series starts. You're basically seeing just little snippets of the relationships of the characters that you haven't seen before, is how I can describe it. Like there's not much plot that you don't already know. You're not finding out all these big secrets. It's just seeing the characters that you know from the main story, but in a different light or from a different perspective, or just a little kind of like section of their life that just gives them a slightly different look on their personality or something like that. It kind of is that kind of comforting read. So like obviously we don't see much of, or we have no from her point of view of Manza, and we know the event that happens if you've read the series obviously in this first chapter, but we don't see it, we don't see the emotions, we don't understand how she was feeling in that moment until you read this. And it just builds a little bit on the relationships of the characters. So we've got ones from Dara, we've got ones from Jamshid, just different things of their relationships, and it's really nice seeing those things, and it does make me want to go back and reread the series, so I might have to do that at some point. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that. I'm about halfway through at 102 pages. I've got about 140 to go, and I'm hoping to finish that today. But we also have another exciting thing that's about to happen. I'm going to make my sweet treat for the readathon, and that is my pumpkin pie crumble thing. So I'm going to do that now. I feel like it's going to take me forever as well, so we'll see if I actually get the 140 pages done today. I will let you know how it goes, and we'll have hopefully a pumpkin crumble on our hands in a couple of hours.
I hope you don't mind if I say that I love you, 'cause there's so many ways that I want to carve out our names, board a last minute plane, just us two. We can chase the sun as it sets in the mountains, find luck like a bet in Greek fountains, or lay lazy in bed with your head on my chest. I hope you don't mind if I say that I love you. Every day another high do, 'cause you know I do, I do, I do. I hope you can hear every note that my heart sings, like a choir of bells, how they all ring. Oh, can't you tell, neath the timpani swells and heartstrings, there's a place deep in our hearts where it matters. We can stay there forever and after, written in stars right above where we are. I hope you don't mind if I say that I love you. Every day another high do, 'cause you know I do, I do, I do. I say that I love you. Every day another high do, 'cause you know I do, I do, I do. You know I do, I do. You know I do.
Finished it! Now for the all-important taste test. Not like an apple crumble at all, but we'll see. It's not bad. I have no idea if I like it or not. It's more doughy than I thought. Maybe I didn't cook it long enough. I don't know. Maybe there's too much flour in the crumble? I don't know. I'm not a cook. I barely do this. And the recipe I used was meant to use like tinned pumpkin, not raw pumpkin. So I have no idea if that changes everything. It probably does. There's probably a lot more moisture in that one, maybe. I have no idea, but I'll eat it because I'll eat anything, and it does kind of taste nice. I kind of do like it. Do I like it? I don't know. The ice cream's very good with it though. I'd recommend with the ice cream. I have no idea what the time is, but I'm gonna try and read more of The River of Silver. I've just finished the next short story, which is about Ali and like in between when he's kind of staying away. I'm not gonna say anything more because if you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it for you. But I do really want to read the book now, reread the book, because I want to be with those characters again, and then I really did enjoy it. That series, it's like one of my all-time favourites, or like one of the first, like, I don't know, I just have a very fond memory of loving those books. I'm going to get back to that. Hopefully I'll finish it today, if not tomorrow, and I'll let you know how the rest of the book goes. Hello, happy Saturday. It is Saturday. So, we are 2 days left of the readathon. I'm hoping to get a lot of reading done today, because I'm doing a lot of train travel. So I'm having to work in Doncaster today, and then I'm also going to Edinburgh, and then the Borders today, so like just a stopover in Edinburgh, not actually being there, just to see my grandparents. So there's a lot of train travel today, so hopefully I can get a lot of reading done. But I thought I'd update you because I finished The River of Silver, which is the second book in my readathon. I'm not going to get 4 done. I might get very close to finishing The Jasmine Throne, but I'm not going to get 4 done. I prioritised Jasmine Throne because this is the one I want to read at the moment. Like, this is what I'm feeling. I'm a mood reader, and this is the mood I'm in. It's fantasy at the moment, like high fantasy. So I've gone for this one. The River of Silver was actually really good. Like, it was surprisingly good. Like, I was worried, or not worried, but just a little bit hesitant going into it because The City of Brass was the first kind of adult fantasy that I read, and I thought it was great. I absolutely loved it. I raved about it. I gave it to people to read, but that was also 4 years ago, and I've also read a lot in this genre since then. So I was worried that maybe just like it wouldn't be as I remembered it to be. And obviously this is 4 years later. Like, Shannon Chakraborty is obviously going to be a better writer and everything like that, but I still love the characters. I love being with them. I want to reread the series so badly now, but I don't have them with me, so I can't do that anyway. Maybe I can try and find them on audiobook again, but I just want to be with these characters again. I really hope she continues on the storyline. There was like an alternate epilogue in this for the trilogy, and I think I want to see that storyline. Like, I think that would make such a good like second trilogy in the series, following different characters from the world, but like I think it would be really cool. So I kind of hope she does that. But it's made me very excited to read her next book because I just think she's a great writer, and I'm excited to get that connected to characters again. I just loved it. So yeah, I gave this 4 stars just because it is like a short story collection. There was one story that I kind of like lulled on just because it wasn't with characters from the series, but it was still like a good story, and it was much shorter, so it wasn't like it was a drag to get through or anything like that. Like, for a short story collection, there wasn't anyone in there that I didn't like, or I thought was like kind of, I don't know, there wasn't anyone that I disliked, so maybe it should have been a 5 stars. But I think because it's obviously a collection of stories, I'm not the biggest fan of those anyway, because you can't properly like get into them like you would, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was great, so would recommend this if you like the series. I think you really should read this, especially just after finishing it, because it will all be quite fresh in your mind. And you could read it like it does, as I said, have prefaces on each chapter to say like where it's situated within the series, so you could read the first few as you go along. So like once you finish the first book, read the first few book like chronological ones. So the next book, what? I just bent it. The next book that I'm reading is The Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri. This, I have no idea what it's about. I'm 50 pages in, but I'm still confused. There's a lot, there seems to be a lot going on. So we have 2 characters at the moment that we're following. We're following Priya and Melini, I think is how you pronounce it, and Melini is the princess that we have from the blurb. So she's been put into prison by her brother, who is the ruler. I can't remember exactly the term for it. Emperor? He might be an emperor. But he's apparently quite a ruthless ruler, and he's put her in prison. We don't know why yet. That hasn't been disclosed. There was a hint of what it was, but we're not sure. Some kind of, I think something to do with magic. I don't know. The prologue was some kind of ritual thing. No idea, basically. But she's been put into prison in this old temple. The temple is kind of, I think the temple itself is magic, but also it's derelict now because it was burnt down, and the children and the priests inside it were brutally kind of killed by the emperor's father like 25 years ago or something like that. So it's got kind of like a eerie thing, but she's now locked in the top room of that. And our other character, she is a maidservant of the people that I think run the village or something like that. So she's been hired to kind of clean and keep everything running, cook the food and stuff in the morning for this temple. And I think they're going to cross paths. Obviously the sister wants vengeance for what we don't know, and Priya apparently had, I think she used to be a temple girl, one of these temple girls. I don't know how she escaped this thing, but she has some kind of connection to this building, and maybe she also wants vengeance, or she wants to reclaim something. I don't know. We're 50 pages in it, and I have to say I don't know a lot of what's going on. There's a lot of talk. There's this weird like disease that's taking people to that like makes forests grow out of them basically. So like trees come out their eyes, and their hands have like leaves growing out them, and their hair's got leaves coming out of them. So that's kind of like taking over the people, but at the same time there's this magical forest that's to do with these people that died, but we don't know when these people died or who these people were. It's very confusing. There's a lot of information being kind of like thrown at them with not a lot of explanation at the moment. I am hoping that will come along. As someone that has a very bad memory, I don't mind a little bit of info dumping. I'd have preferred a little bit more kind of it at the moment, just because I'm a bit confused, especially with all these new names and terminologies being like kind of thrown about that I can't in my head situate at the moment. But I'm enjoying it. Like, it's really well written. She's a really good like kind of atmospheric writer. I'm excited to continue this, and hopefully we'll read quite a big chunk today. with all my train travel. Train travel, not train travel. Hopefully that'll be good. I'll let you know how it goes. Obviously I'm going to Scotland now, so I will maybe take some clips. I think we're going to my grand's local bookshop tomorrow for some lunch, so I'll show you some of that. Blah, 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 blah. It's too early for this. Let my watch on. I'll catch up with you later and I'll let you know how this is going and how the readathon went in the end. So welcome to the end of the vlog. We have finished the Gilmore Girls Readathon. It's actually a couple days after, it's Tuesday now, but this is the first time I've had to sit down and talk to you about it. So I got to page 198 of the Jasmine Throne, so I did read quite a big chunk on the train journey on Saturday and a little bit on Sunday, but not very much. And I have to say, I am enjoying it. I do think I will continue on. I think at the moment there's only 2 books in the trilogy out, but I do think I'm going to get the next one and read it relatively soon after reading this, just so that I can keep all the names fresh in my head. There are a lot of point of views in this. You seem to get a lot of kind of one-off chapters, or like every so often a chapter from different people, and we only have one, I would say, consistent point of view, and that is Priya. So she seems to have the most chapters, and then we've had at least, I would say, like 4 or 5 other point of views, or chapters from different point of views. So that's a little bit, not confusing, but a little bit different to what I normally would read, even if it's a point of view or multiple point of view character book. Normally they're consistent, and you have normally like one chapter from one, another from another, or it's relatively balanced. Whereas this is not necessarily the case with this one at all. It just kind of seems to be the point of view that you get is whatever fits what needs to be told in the story at that point, which I suppose is good. I don't know, we'll find out how it keeps going. Yeah, I still got a lot to go. I'm not even halfway yet, so I still have a while to go, but I'm excited and I'm enjoying it. It is quite not complex, but there's a lot of names and a lot of like mythology based. The magic system is to do with nature and some kind of event that happened in the past that we're not really sure that's happened. Our main character has a lot of gaps in her memory as well, so she's trying to discover what they are. I think it could be a good like 4-star read if it continues the way it's going, and I'm excited to see how Priya and Malini's relationship develops. Yes, we'll see. But I've enjoyed this week a lot, focusing on reading a little bit more than I normally would, and obviously Gilmore Girls themed. I've been watching Gilmore Girls for ages now, or rewatching it, and it's such a great show. And I enjoyed baking actually. I haven't done that in such a long time. I've now got some cooking apples, so I'm going to actually make some apple crumble that will hopefully be a little bit better than my attempt at an apple pie crumble thing, that didn't really go to plan. I have all the ingredients now, so I might as well. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a great time, and I'll be doing a wrap up soon. Hopefully I'll finish this month, and then it'll be in my end of the month wrap up, so you can see that then. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help me in my videos, and I will see you next Sunday.